Right, so this is my stream setup, or at least this is what my stream setup looked like about 6 months ago, before I really started taking it to another level. So it's pretty plain. You've got the game in the middle, you've got the title screen at the top, and you've got a chat on the left. So I had this for about a month, and then I decided I wanted to make things a little bit more interesting. So the first thing I did was I added the ability to zoom out of my display and enter into sort of virtual room here where I can be playing my video games. So the one thing you might notice is the room is kind of dark. So the next thing I added was lighting effects to the scene. So show that off. I can turn on and off lights. Or I can open and close the blinds. Or I can even open a window behind the camera and let more light into the room with shadow effects. So that was the first step of going down the rabbit hole here. So now that we're in this room, we have a whole bunch of different things that we can do. Got the lighting effects, and now we also have another television here. You notice this television's 4x3, and this is the television that I use for all the older console games, for instance N64. If we zoom in a little bit closer, see I've got 4x3 television with Ocarina of Time loaded. So let's try playing that on this television. So for that, let's warp out my camera so we can see me for a second. So turn on the television.
Sure, we have what is called an AV
well,
switch.
apparently we're on the wrong channel. So it starts out,
and it enables you to watch a channel.
This is the preview guide channel. That's channel 2. Usually you go channel 3 to play real games, right? So here's channel 3. But before we start playing that game, let's kind of look what else we have on the television here. It's got a lot more channels than channels 2 and 3. So basically what I've done is I've just made this kind of interactive television.
Before the grand jury.
5 mouth-watering sliders used in.
Has various clips of shows from the 80s and 90s or earlier. And when we get to channel 0, we can change the UHF dial.
But, you know,
Go between the various stations here. But anyway, we wanted to play
First, you have to go get the video.
So we'll go back to channel 3. And let's zoom up to console and take a better look at the console here. So as you see, we have Zelda Ocarina of Time loaded up in the N64, but the power's off, so that's why we still have the blue screen here. So in order to actually play the game, we're gonna have to turn on the console. So I have a little hotkey for that. A little light goes on, and then the game starts up. And we're back to playing Ocarina of Time. Now imagine, obviously Ocarina of Time is a single-player game, but imagine you're playing a 2-player game. In that case, you want not just one camera on the left, you want a second camera. So I made the ability to kind of pop out the secondary camera on the right here. The little separate caption. Obviously there's 2 of me right now because I'm the only person here, but that's the idea of that. So I can have multiple different cameras for each player. So let's turn this off. Obviously, we just have to push the power button on the N64. It's a little complicated here. But there are other consoles than an N64. So let's see what else we have here. We have an N64, but we also have GameCube. We got a Wii. Got a Wii U even. But we'll go back to the N64 really quickly. There are other games than Zelda for the N64, believe it or not. So let's see what else we can do. What if instead of Zelda we wanted to play say we want to play some Banjo Tooie. So now we can play Banjo Tooie, or what if instead of playing Banjo Tooie, we wanted to play the Xena the Warrior Princess game? Then we can go and play the Xena the Warrior Princess game. So basically what happened was, at one point I decided it would be cool if I could swap out cartridges, and so I just kind of went online and looked around for pictures of cartridges, and I found a site that had a picture of every single one of the 297 North American released N64 games. So I just programmed them all into my Steam Deck, so now I have the ability to kind of warp in whichever game I want and start playing. So that's the story of that. But again, there's more to this scene than just like these two devices, the console and the television. So next thing I did was, it's kind of silent in here. I have some atmospheric effects, but I also like playing music. So if you notice, next to Diddy Kong, there's this little boombox. So that's actually, take a closer look at that. So we can zoom in, and we can turn it on. Take a little bit of a closer look. So this right here is actually a little functioning boombox with a whole bunch of different stations programmed in, just like how the television has a bunch of different stations. So does the boombox. So I can make all these different modules pop out of the boombox. We've got camera, we've got chat, we've got the event list. And if you notice, there's that little green LED light that says enabled. If you read to the left, it says control station and chat with music enabled. I can enable and disable that. And what that means is, when it's enabled, anybody who's in chat has the ability to type !, music, and then the name of one of these stations, and they can change the channel. So here I changed it to the N64 station. And it pops up with who changed the station, what they changed it to. And that's that. And, but while I was in this view, giving people the ability to change the music stations, I realized, well, if I'm not playing a game or anything, this is kind of boring. So I realized I kind of need a way to pop out a bigger display here, so that way we can listen to music and play games that maybe don't have sound effects. So, so one of the things that I do is every day, as of recently at least, I've been playing crossword puzzles with friends of mine. So crossword puzzles obviously do not have a soundtrack, so it kind of is a prime fit for something that I might want to play when zoomed into the boombox. So I made an additional display here that pops out of the boombox, where we can play our crossword puzzles. But then after I made this display and used it a few times, I realized the display's a little bit too small. So I had to enlarge it. And stuff kind of got out of hand. And so now I have all these different devices, and I have all these different screens. And then finally, the last thing I added was, I decided, wouldn't it be cool if, now that people can control the boombox, what if they control the actual things in my house? Like, what if they can control the lights in my house? So people can turn on and off the lights, various commands. Finally, what if they want to give my cats, I have 4 cats, what if they want to give my cats some treats? If you're a subscriber, you can type cat mode. Once somebody initiates cat mode, anybody can just type in chat RL cat treat. It says who it was that triggered the effect, and it throws my cat some treats. They're apparently not in the room, but usually after I trigger it, they show up pretty quickly. We'll see. We'll give it a second. Oh, they're running. They'll be there in a second. Oh, I think a little bit. Let me just cool down. Oh, here's one of them. You can also turn off the lights in that room. Get some night vision on. Throw one more treat. See if we can get any of them. They seem to be less enthusiastic. I've given them a lot of treats, as you can see all of the remnants of treats in there, so we'll end that. So, anyway, back to the boombox. So now, let's close out of here. Shrink some stuff down. So this boombox actually has over 10 weeks worth of music right now. So it's unlikely we'll ever run out of things to listen to. So there's one more effect I'll show off before I end this demonstration. So to turn off all these different TVs, close the windows. And so I made one last effect just to kind of demo the transformation of lighting. I'll trigger that in a second.
Humiliation.
So as you can see, the lights kind of follow the contours of everything in the scene. You can raise and lower this television. And the lights hit it appropriately. You can turn on and off the television. Everything is composed. All the lighting is composed properly. And that's that.